Okay. Finally, I'm back with another episode. Real talk with VladBrad. So I'm gonna get right into it. I'm gonna let you guys know what I'm gonna talk about. A particular subject matter I have to cover. I haven't covered in a long time. I actually never covered the subject matter, but I feel I have to cover it right now because I thought maybe the situation subsided. I thought maybe it would subside. These particular situations would subside, but apparently it didn't. So I gotta cover it, and that's police brutality / killing people. Definitely have to talk about that, and I'm gonna give you guys my opinion on what I think about that. So definitely gonna talk about that. Also, I'm gonna talk about the judicial system. Definitely gonna talk about the judicial system because I feel that this is something that has to be covered, and I try to cover a wide variety of subject matter. So in terms of that has to be covered basically, and being humble. I think we should humble ourselves. So I'm gonna talk about that. And what I feel about humility. Also, to lighten the mood a little bit, I want to talk about bowling. A bowling situation that happened to me some odd years ago. It was pretty funny and awesome at the same time. Pretty funny and pretty awesome, both at the same time. Also, my YouTube channel, some changes have been made to it. So I'm gonna share that with you guys a little bit. So yeah, in terms of trending subject matter. The police brutality, that's been trending for like ever, and I have to talk about it. It has to be talked about. So with that being said, what I usually say, I say something. I say, KBLP LLC, thank you all for rocking with me in the world of Mad Vlad Brad.
This is gonna feel real good, alright? Most dope. Everybody please put a thumb in the air. Hey.
1, 2, 3, 4. Some crazy ass kids coming knock up on your door, so let 'em in.
Yeah, so okay, I'm back. Thank you guys for rocking with me. Yeah. So let's get right into it. Yes. So brought to you by King Cannabis. Definitely scoped them out. So yeah, I'm just gonna get right into it. I'm not even gonna play any games. Usually I talk about trending topics, trending subject matter, but this is pretty trending. It may not be viral or anything, but it's been trendy for a long time, and I felt I have to speak on it because even though I'm really goofy and lighthearted for the most part, I have to cover this because this is a vaguely serious subject matter, and I have to talk about it because if I didn't talk about it, I would have felt like I'm not being real with myself. I would have felt like I'm not being genuine with my listeners and my fans. So this had to be definitely covered. I have to talk about this. And this is police brutality, police brutality / killing people. And I'm going to tell you what I think about that. First, I'm going to say, on the planet Earth, there's like 7 billion people on the planet Earth. So, we're all human beings at the end of the day, regardless of your nationality, regardless where you come from, what part of the world you live in, we're all human beings. So with that being said, I have to say there's no perfect human being on the planet. There's nobody perfect. However, there's like a thin line of perfection versus being an idiot. So I'm gonna tell you what I mean by that. Like, being a police officer, being a peace officer is not for everybody. Everybody shouldn't do it. But here's the thing. Everybody can do it. If you have somewhat of a clean criminal history and you haven't been in trouble, you can apply to be a police officer. And it's not for everyone, but it's like, but people do it anyway. They do it and then they get, being in a position of authority isn't for everybody. Being a supervisor isn't for everybody. Everything is not for everybody, but people do it anyway, knowing they have no business doing it. And I'm going to tell you why. I think it entails a certain amount of bravery being a police officer. It entails a certain amount of bravery, a certain amount of risk taking. And then, they risk their lives. I'm not saying we don't need police. It's good to have police around. However, it's good to have good police around. Good police, law abiding police. Because here's what I honestly feel: these police officers that have been out there policing people, they've been cold-blooded murderers, is what they are. You see what I mean? They've been murderers. They have no right being and some people are going to get offended by I'm saying this. There's probably police who's listening to this. Probably probably people who are in law enforcement is listening to this, but I'm talking about you. I mean, if you're a good police officer, if you're the type of police officer and you uphold the law, then I'm not speaking about you. Then here's what I have to say about you police officers that uphold the law and the ones that do things accordingly, the ones who are that it's meant for you guys to do it, the ones who are good police officers. I'm talking to you right now. I'm talking to you. My hat goes off to you. I give you guys the utmost respect, you know, and may God bless you in your career and your future endeavors. So you good police officers. Again, I take my hat off to you. The duration of what I'm about to say, it does not apply to you good police officers. I'm not talking about you. Now, with that being said, I'm going to talk about you crooked cops out there, you crooked scumbag dirtbags out there, you asswipes. I'm talking about you guys. And so here's what I say, right? I was reading a story. It was this black female. She was shoplifting. I believe she was shoplifting and she had no weapons on her. She was like, she just was shoplifting something small. And then some scumbag police officer, he kills her. He shoots her. Yes. You see what I mean? And I'm talking about scumbags like that. And that's not another situation. It was another situation where it was another black female where she was, I believe she was at a residence, a home, and she was kind of mentally unstable, but she was still a female. She didn't have any weapons on her. She had no weapons. She was kind of resisting arrest a little bit. And it was a man versus a woman. You're a police officer. And what he does, he shoots her. He shoots and kills her. You see what I mean? It was a one-on-one kind of situation. She didn't put on any weapons. She had no weapons on her. But yeah, I mean, yeah, granted, she was mentally unstable, but you're a grown man. You're a grown freaking man. You telling me you can't restrain a female and you're a grown man? You see what I mean? What kind of coward are you? Anyway, you know, he kills her, you know, and that's what he does. And, you know, police, and I was watching this situation the other day when I was in the street, right? I was driving down the street and it was the Hawthorne police, and the Hawthorne police are known for being crooked and corrupt. It was this one black dude out there. He had his, you know, hands up. He had his hands behind his back, and he assumed the position already. Like he was on his knees. He had his hands interlaced behind his forehead, behind his head, and he was waiting on them to like, you know, restrain him. And the dude, okay, again, not to throw myself in the mix, but he was a black dude. I'm gonna throw myself in the mix a little bit. I'm like maybe 6'5", 6'6" again, and I told you guys I'm like maybe 205 pounds, maybe. So, but the thing is, the guy who they had restrained, he could have been like maybe 5'10", maybe 190 pounds soaking wet. You see what I mean? So the dude was smaller than me, but I mean I'm a considerably you know, big dude, being over 200 pounds and everything and whatever, considerably. But the dude was pretty small. But you know what the police did? They had guns drawn on this guy. They had guns drawn on him, talking about get down, this and that, da, da, da. You know, and I'm like, dude, wow, what's all the unnecessary? I mean, he's already ready to be taken down. And it's like, it's one of him, and it's like 20 of you guys. And why do you guys got to have so many guns drawn on this one dude? I'm going to break that down for you. I'm going to break it down for you why they did. I'm going to break all that down for you right now. And why this killing is happening. I'm going to tell you why it's happening. I'm going to break it all down for you. And I mean, people are going to get offended when I'm going to say, but so what? So what? Because I'm talking about police officers, these crooked, scumbag, dirtbag cops. I'm talking about them for one. But I'm going to talk about people in general and why I feel as though that it should be handled accordingly. And I'm going to talk about changes that I feel that should be made to the police force in terms of the hiring process. And I'm straight to get down to it. Here's what I think, right? Here's what I know. Here's what all these officers have in common. I'm going to tell you what all of them have in common. They have poor genetics. That's what they have in common. They have, how can I say, they have low grade, poor, beat up genetics is what they have. And physically and mentally, they have poor genetics. And okay, example, I'm going to talk about myself, right? Again, I'm going to talk about my situation. I talked about this before, but I'm going to reiterate on what I talked about before. When I was pulled over and they were targeting my passenger, and the dude, I'm not going to talk too much about it, but I'm just going to give it so you guys know what I'm talking about. okay, the dude pulls us over, tells us to get out the car and everything else. So, first he comes up to the car. He comes up to the car and he had no reason to pull us over, but he was talking to my passenger. Like I said, again, this was last year sometime. So when I finally get out the car, right, I step the car, he looks up. The dude is looking up at me because he sees some 6'5/6'6", 6'5.5" giant looking down at him. And I'm looking down at him and he's looking up at my nose. He's looking at my nostrils because he's that short. He's short and he's stumpy. So I have this short stumpy of a guy looking up at me, barking orders at me. You see what I mean? And the thing about it is this, he was a Hispanic dude, and everything else, looking up at a giant, so basically I feel as though that reason why a lot of these officers do this is because they don't have, they're weak. Physically, they're weak. These men are physically weak. That's why they act the way they do. And that's why they quick to pull out a gun, because they can't, in a one-on-one head-up fight, they get their ass handed to them. You see what I mean? So that's why they're like that. You guys are a bunch of cowards and you have weak genetics and you shouldn't be police officers. And that's just what it is. You see what I mean? So, and especially when it comes to and I'm just going to say it, with black people, a lot of times, black people are feared, they look at them with fear and they think because they're black, they're just strong as gorillas. And they're quick to be, take the offensive instead of giving them instead of giving them the benefit of the doubt. They're quick to take the offensive because they're intimidated already because they see they're black. They assume that they're super strong, but black people are human beings just like everybody else. You know what I mean? You have strong, you have weak, just like you have strong and weak in every other race. Right. So, I just thought it was kind of sucky how, but here's the thing, right? Statistically speaking, and this is so very true. Police officers, and here's something that's swept under the rug, right? And, police kill more white people than they do anybody else. Believe it or not, they do. But, the thing is, it's I just think that their tactics are a little more aggressive when it comes to black people. It's just they're a little more aggressive, so, and I just think that, and I'm gonna go ahead and say it. They're okay. They're a little excessive with the force, how they do it. But the thing about it is this, when I think they need to hire people who have a little bit, who are little, they need to recruit people, I should say. They need to recruit people who are higher in the genetic totem pole. You see what I mean? Recruit people who are higher in the genetic totem pole. You know why? Because these little short, oompa loompa, dumpy guys that you guys be hiring to be police officers, them guys, they're cowards. Because they're already little and oompa loopis and weak anyway. They can't even bench 10 pounds in the gym. You see what I mean? So that's why when that guy, he was a full grown man and he killed that black woman. You know what I mean? And I think it was when he killed and here's the thing: when it comes to black officers, you hardly ever see black police officers. I don't know of any, and this is me saying this. This is me because I'm being unbiased. I'm in no position to take the side of anybody black, anybody white, or whatever. I'm not in a position to take anyone's side. I'm just going based on what I see, based on the media, based on what I'm looking at. But based on that, it's rare that you see a black police officer, shooting and killing anybody. It's very rare. You see what I mean? Because here's the thing about black men, police officers, they a lot of them already have genetics about them. A lot of them are already strong and they already have a mindset. It's they're okay, whatever. They're quick to fight you. A black police officer, and you look up on Google and YouTube, you see black officers fighting. They'll go head up with you. You see what I mean? So they're not really afraid like that. It's these Oompa Loompa. And I'm just go ahead and say it. It's like these immigrants. They hire these immigrant police officers from these other countries. They hire them and they have weak, poor pitch genetics. They hire them and then they put gun and they give them authority. You see what I mean? And they put them up and they put them in the streets and they call themselves trying to be racist. Really? How dare you you call yourself trying to be a racist? You see what I mean? You have no idea. You're not in a position to be anybody's racist. Period. You see what I mean? So they put them and they make them police officers and they put guns behind them and everything. And they're barely legal themselves. They're barely citizens themselves. And you put a badge, you put a gun in their hands. You see what I mean? And they take it and they do too much with it. They do too much that you put a badge, you put a gun in their hand and they let the authority get to their heads. That's what they do. You see what I mean? You know, and that's who's been as of late, I gotta say, with white police officers, it kind of died down a little bit. They've been hiring more genetic kind of freakish kind of white police officers kind of guys. So they've been but these immigrant officers, you guys need to fall back, man. I mean, really. And that's just what it is. And if you're offended, I don't care. If you're offended what I'm saying, so what? I don't care. And that's just what it is. You see what I mean? But here's the thing. I love everybody, man. I got love for everybody. You're supposed to have love for everybody. But the thing about it is this. You got to be real, man. You got to be real. And that's just what it is. And I don't care what your nationality is. I don't care what your nationality is, period. If you know that you're not physically strong as a man, if you don't have the full physical attributes of a man, you have no business being in a position of authority, or you have no business putting yourself in a line of danger where you have to restrain somebody. Because if you know you're too weak to restrain somebody, then don't be in that position. Don't do it. That's not the job for you. Then that's just what it is. And I don't care what your nationality is. Again, I don't care what nationality you are. Either black, white, Asian, Hispanic, whatever you are. If you know you don't have the genetics if you know you're not, if you know you're weak, I mean, even if you don't have the genetics, work out, go to a gym, lift some weights, get bigger, put some muscle on you, because you're going to have to deal with men, and you're going to have to deal with strong women too, regardless of nationality. You're going to have to deal with it. You see what I mean? So I feel like, stop killing people, man. Stop, you officers that have these badges and the ones that I'm talking about, you guys, and stop killing people, because you don't have the genetics and you're too weak. You not only do you do not have the genetics, but mentally you don't have the genetics either, because you're a coward. That's what cowards do. They want to resort to guns immediately. You see what I mean? And not only that, you notice, okay, there's been a police chase, right? Here's what I notice about police chases. Like say they'll get the guy get out the car, and let's say the guy get out the car or whatever, right? After the police station went down, the chase went down, and they finally got the guy to submit. He get out the car, put his hands behind his back. You know what the police do a lot of time? They'll pack the guy out. You guys got guns, and that's a situation to have guns drawn. If some situations require the intense force, some situations require, and I'm gonna tell you what I mean by that, right? If you have if somebody have guns drawn, right? I mean, let's say if it was like a police chase with a guy, you have to chase him. He's ducking through traffic. He's going 100 plus miles on a freeway, and he almost killed people through his drive and everything else. You have to chase this guy all over the cities, and then when you finally get to restrain him, okay, draw the guns. Like, that's a situation that requires that kind of police force. Okay, that's understandable, right? But If he have his hands out, I mean, if he have his hands behind his back, and you have a bunch of guns drawn, okay, cool. You're supposed to do that, because this guy just put you on a massive, citywide police chase. So naturally, you're supposed to have a gun drawn, because he could be dangerous. That's understandable. You see what I mean? So, but here's what they do, right? Like, you got your gun drawn them enough as it is. You guys don't have to pack him out. You see what I mean? It take like maybe 3-4 officers. You guys could just pick him up casually. He got his hands. He's already ready to submit. Just 3-4 officers casually take them in and put them in behind the car. You guys don't have to pack him out. Like, they jump on a guy, pack him out, but like 20 of them packing on one dude. You see what I mean? Come on. You got how stupid you guys look. You guys look stupid. And you know what I mean? But here's what they've been doing. It'd be one female, right? And they have a bunch of guns drawn on one female. Or get on the ground. Like, come on, really? You see what I mean? Obviously, you don't have a weapon. It's a female. You see what I mean? Come on. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, stop hiring these cowards. Stop hiring these people with these piss poor genetics. Stop hiring them. You see what I mean? And even women officers too. You guys aren't excused either. These women police officers, they're not excused either. You see what I mean? I believe in equal rights. I mean, to a certain degree. But I mean, the women who are being police officers, the ones that are women, I feel as though that, but you have some brave women out there though. I mean, not, you have some brave women out there who are police officers, but for the ones who are cowards that pull out the guns on people, I mean, let the men handle it. You said, what I mean by that is, yes, show some support. Yeah. If you're an officer and you get called to the scene of something, if you got to pull a gun out, fine, pull the guns out. But only if it requires it. Only if it requires it. If somebody don't have a weapon and they're already submitting and they already had their hands behind their back, they ready for you to restrain them. Oh, and you women, just stay back. You know what I mean? Let the guys do it. Because you women get over excessive because you're trying to prove yourselves too much. You're trying to prove yourselves. You're trying to get in. Okay, let me go prove myself. Let me go show them I can do this too. No, you don't got to prove yourself. Just, you're doing your job. You know what I mean? Stop with the excessive force, you women. I'm talking to you too. You see what I mean? So, definitely have to talk about that. Stop killing people. You coward, gutless police officers. Stop doing it. And I hope this reaches I hope my podcast reaches the right people. Stop hiring these men who I think if you can't at least bench, if you're a man, right? If you're a man, if you can't at least bench 100 pounds, if you can't get under a bench press, no, I'm gonna say 120 pounds. If you can't at least bench 120 pounds on the bench press, then you don't deserve to be a police officer, plain point, period. Straight like that. You know what I mean? You have no right to be a police officer. At least be able to bench 120. You see what I mean? Because those are the cowards that's killing people. You notice, look at every video. Look at the videos of these officers that's killing people. Look at the Oompa Loompa Humpty Dumptiest kind of men that's shooting people. They can't bench 120 pounds. They short, fat, not a shape. And by fat, they're not even a big fat. They're a small fat. You see what I mean? And they're not even, they're like not even 5'5". I know they're not even 5'7", and out there what you look like carrying a gun in a badge? You're not even 5'7". You see what I mean? Like, and you're out of shape because, and the thing is, they know they're out of shape. And here's what they're thinking. I'm gonna tell you exactly what they're thinking. Oh, I better not look at this guy. Look, I know I'm short and I'm fat and I'm out of shape. But if I approach, he's probably gonna overwhelm me. Even though there's 10 of us, still let's pull our guns out on this one guy who's submitting. Even he has his hands behind his back. And so let's pull our guns out still and let's shoot and kill him or whatever. Because I'm afraid. Because look at me, I have piss poor genetics and I'm short and I don't know if I should support and I'm an immigrant. And I'm barely legal myself, but yet they put a badge behind me, they put a gun behind me, and they got me out there policing people. Come on, man. That ain't right. It's not right. So definitely have to cover that. With that being said, I'm done with that subject matter. So yeah, man. I just kind of went over the edge a little bit. So I'm going to talk about the judicial system. The judicial system. Going to court, and this subject matter goes hand in hand, kind of. The judicial system. I mean, here in Los Angeles, right? And I'm sure this is how it is everywhere. What they like to do, they like to make a mountain out of a molehill. The judicial system. That's what they like to do to people, right? And I'm gonna tell you what I mean by that. Like, say. It could be a petty crime. It could be something small. Like, I don't believe in crime, period. Like, you should do crime don't pay. You shouldn't do crime at all. However, everybody don't feel that way. Everybody don't feel that you shouldn't do crime because there are people out there doing crime. However, there's different kinds of crimes. Like you have like white collar crime. You have blue collar crimes. You have crimes that are like federal crimes that require federal court. You have state crimes that require state court. And but it's usually the feds, they're not like this. I'm talking about the state crimes, right? This is what it is, and it sucks because you know how like in the judicial system, it don't even matter. Like guilty or innocent, it sucks that it's like this. They don't care if you're guilty or innocent. They don't care about none of that. They care about money. That's all they care about. They care about money is what they care about. And I'm gonna tell you what I mean by that. You could be totally innocent of a crime. You could be completely innocent, but you know what? A lot of times they still want to prove you guilty or they want you to take some kind of deal because that's how they make their money. You see what I mean? So they don't care about you being innocent, you know. And it sucks that it's like that. You know, back then, you know, the old saying used to be like this. Here's, you know, I'm gonna say the sayings how they used to go, how the sayings used to go. It used to go, you're innocent until proven guilty. In the judicial system, in the court of law, you're innocent until proven guilty. Like that was the original saying. And then it went from saying, you know, for those who got a little common sense about them, they said, nah, you're guilty until proven innocent. You see what I mean? And it ended up being that, which is true. You know, I mean, for a long time that was true, but it's not even that anymore. It's not even that. It's not, it's basically, we don't care if you're guilty or innocent. We want money. That's the new state. That's the new saying now. You see what I mean? And, so like, okay, kind of, I'm gonna give it like a vague scenario, right? Let's say, for example, let's say Steve. I mean, no, I'm not even gonna say Steve. Shout out to my boy Steve. I'm gonna say, let's call him, let's say, Dan. I'm gonna say somebody, let's say Dan, right? We're gonna call him Dan. Let's say Dan, he got busted for shoplifting. He got busted shoplifting, right? Dan, we're talking about Dan. Let's say Dan, he shoplifted a Jolly Rancher. We're going to say, yeah. Let's say he was caught on film stealing a Jolly Rancher, right? And let's say they called the police on him. They said they called the police on him. And let's say he was apprehended. He was apprehended by the police for stealing a Jolly Rancher. I'm going to tell you how the judicial system is going to handle it. I'm going to tell you exactly how they handle it, right? And this is why you don't want to get caught up in a judicial system, because once you're in, it's hard getting out of it. Like they want to keep, no matter what it is, they want to keep you in there and everything. Here's what they're going to do, right? Dan is going to go to jail. He's going to go to like a holding cell. He's going to go to like what you call a substation. Yes, Dan's going to go to a substation. They're going to hold him overnight in jail. The next day, the next couple days, Dan's going to go before a judge. He's going to go before a judge. And let's say he goes before a judge, right? No, but before he goes before a judge, he's going to see a public defender / public pretender. He's going to see a public pretender. Dan's going to see a public pretender, right? And here's what the public pretender is going to tell him. I'm going to be the pretender. Yeah, well, Dan, you know, you're looking at a lot of time. You're facing, and that's what they do. They make a mountain out of a molehill. That's what they do. They take a teardrop and make it seem like you rained an ocean. They make a teardrop. They turn a teardrop into an ocean. You see what I mean? Like they exaggerate, they fabricate, they're very theatrical. They fabricate everything, right? But okay, now back to it. Yeah, Dan. You know, you know, you're looking at a lot of time. You know, this is it's looking bad for you, Dan. This is looking really bad. You know, it's the end of the world for you, Dan. This is the end of the world for you. You're facing a whole lot of time here. You're facing life. You're facing a death penalty. Yeah, Dan, it's looking really bad because, you stole a Jolly Rancher. Yeah, no one got killed. So what? No one got killed. And this is really small crime, you know, this is a really small, situation that happened. But, yeah, you're in the judicial system. So, this is looking really bad for you, Dan. It's looking real bad. You stole the Jolly Rancher that you stole. You stole a grape Jolly Rancher. And, yeah, the grape Jolly Rancher that you stole, it's, those are rare. Those are very rare. You don't hardly see grape Jolly Ranchers anymore. I mean, if you'd have stole like a cherry, if you'd have stole a lime, if you'd have stole a lemon, it wouldn't have been looking as bad. But the fact is you stole a grape Jolly Rancher. You can look a lot of the time here. What I'm going to try to do, I'm going to see if I can get you a deal. I'm going to try to get you a deal for, maybe, 10 years. Maybe we're going to get you a deal for 10 years, hopefully. And you probably want to take that deal because right now it's looking really bad for you. Yeah, you've never been to jail before. This is your first time ever going to jail. And, but we're going to see if I can swing you. If I can talk to the judge and talk to the prosecutor, maybe I can get you only 10 years. Maybe. Because, this is a really heinous thing you did by stealing this Jolly Rancher. So yeah. So we'll see what we can do. I'm gonna go before a judge and, we're gonna see the judge in a minute. We're gonna go for the judge. And when we go for the judge, I'm gonna see if I can swing something for you, Dan. Okay. Oh, we're gonna call the next days, Dan Hancock. We're gonna call Dan Hancock. He's just, okay, Mr. Hancock, yes, Your Honor. I'm Dan's attorney, Your Honor. And, he stole a Jolly Rancher, and he says here that he stole a Jolly Rancher. And I'm speaking up for my because you don't get to talk in court. You don't get to talk. The attorney talks for you. Okay, yeah, my client, he stole a Jolly Rancher, and when he stole the Rancher, he stole the Rancher. I mean, that's what it said. They got him on camera stealing the Jolly Rancher. We're going to waive time here. We're going to waive some time to build up the, to build up I need to build up a defense for my client for stealing a Jolly Rancher. So we're going to waive some time. So you're going to have to, we're asking that we're going to ask that you give us 2 more months. So let's say today is today is, January 3rd, right? We're going to at least give us to, let me see. Give us to April. Yeah, we're going to ask for April. Give us to April 20th. Give us to April 20th to figure this out. And we're going to have my client sit in jail for all that time for April 20th until we figure out, we're going to, a defense. We're asking that, Your Honor, you mind us giving that much time? Okay, we'll give you that much time. Cool. Now you go back to your holding cell. Okay, we're gonna build a case up for you. Hopefully we can get you. I'm gonna try to swing 8 years. We're gonna do this because this is a heinous crime. Basically, that's what they do. You see what I mean? They need work. They need work. They don't care if you're guilty or innocent. And Dan is obviously guilty of stealing a Jolly Rancher. Here's what they could do to Dan. They could just say, okay, Dan, you time served in jail, you're gone. You stole a Jolly Rancher, don't make it happen again. That's what they can do, but they're not going to do that. You know why they're not going to do that? Because you're locked into the judicial system. You did a crime, you're locked in the system. Like they like to make a mountain out of a molehill. They take something really small and they stretch it. You said, I mean, that's what they do. So, the fact that here, the moral of the story is this: crime doesn't pay. Don't do the crime, period. No crime if you can prevent it. And you know what? Even though the judicial system is crooked anyway, most of them it's crooked. And not only that, it's like they like to, they like to, they like to put people in situations and they like to make it seem like you can't get out of it. You know what I mean? Because okay. Better, let's finish Dan's story off. I'm going to finish Dan's story off. Let's say, okay, he goes back to court again, April, whenever it was, I said he go back to court, right? And now they want to put Dan on probation. They want to give Dan 6 years probation, because of the Jolly Rancher. Instead of now he's on probation, now he has to go to he got to go to probation officer. He got to see once a month or whatever, go check in and everything because he stole a Jolly Rancher. Because that's how they do their work. That's how they work. It's like they all work together, and that's how they all make their money. First, you get arrested for the Jolly Rancher, right? And now you got to have a public pretender. Now you got to go for a judge, and now you got to go. Now after you're done and everything else, you got to go on probation. Now you got to be on probation. That's how that works. They all work together. That's how the judicial system works. It don't care about you being innocent or guilty anymore. They just care about making money because that's how they pay their bills. You said, I mean, that's how it works. So yeah, definitely don't do the crime. Try to stay out of jail. And that's the end of that. With that being said, next subject matter. Real talking VladBrad. I keep forgetting to say that. Real talking VladBrad. Real talk with VladBrad. Gotta talk about this. Being humble. It's being humble is an awesome thing. And I'm gonna tell you what I mean by that, right? Because you have a lot of people who are know-it-alls out there, and the thing is, right? Being humble and try to be the best person that you can be. Because a lot of times when you're in a workplace, or let's say, because you have a lot of lame brains, idiots. You have a lot of people who are like, again, they can make it worse out of a person, and they like to take their aggression. Like, let's say they have something happen at home with them. Like, let's say something happened at home. Like, so let's say they have a girlfriend, they have kids, they're married, whatever, or they have roommates, and they'll take their problems to the workplace. You said, I mean, they'll take their problems to the work and they'll take it out on everybody else. Like, that's what they'll do. Right. So, and here's why I say being humble comes into play, because the thing is, for you idiots who like to take your anger out on others, somebody needs to smack you in the head as hard as they can. I mean, somebody needs to, right? But the thing about it is this: try and be humble, and like, for those, like, don't let other people problems become your problems, right? Like, if somebody come at you with an aggressive mentality because it's something in the workplace, or whether, like, let's say if it's just in general public, you're at the supermarket, or let's say you're in McDonald's trying to buy food or whatever you're at, right? And let's say they don't try to be humble because you never know what that person's going through, right? And always be receptive to reasoning and logic, because you have people who, like, they're not humble. Let's say, for example, you have a disagreement, right? There's some people, let's say you can have you're going through and even if it is a relationship, even if it's a relationship situation, right? And you're in a relationship with somebody, if you're in a relationship with somebody, right, especially, and they don't, they're never admit to being wrong about anything, I can almost guarantee you that's not going to work out. That relationship it's on a highway to hell, if you will, so to speak. Because, like, let's say, for example, I'm going to bring up a example. Let's say, okay, someone is trying to get in touch with me on Instagram, whatever. So let's say you're in a relationship, right? And let's say you have a small situation. Let's say, some chick flirts with your boyfriend, or let's say some dude flirt with your, some dude flirt with your chick, right? And then y'all go in the car and discuss it. Let's say you say, that dude or that chick flirted with you and you didn't even say anything back. You just kind of like, you could have said, my girlfriend is here, my boyfriend is here. You just kind of went with it, and you didn't try to dispute it. You just kind of went with it. That's so wrong. Like, let's say, okay, again, nobody's perfect. We're all human beings. Here would be the logical response. You know what, sweetie? You're right. My apologies. I could have said something more. I could have said, I'm here with my girlfriend. I don't appreciate it. Or I'm here with my boyfriend. I don't appreciate it. You're right. That won't happen again. You see, be humble and be the person that can be reasoned with. If, you have a longer lasting relationship if you could do that. I'm just using an example of humility. But let's say some people are like this. That wasn't my fault. I was minding my business. They flirted with me, and I just, and I didn't do anything. So you can't blame me for that. Like, they make every excuse not to take responsibility for it. Every excuse in the world not to use humility. I'm just using that. I don't know. There's other examples, but that's just an example that I'm using right now. Try to be humble. Try to be a better person, because people who aren't humble, a lot of the time they set themselves up for failure. And you guys are just idiots, period. You guys are idiots. If you can't be humble, like me, I try to be humble to the best of my ability. Like, I'm the type of person that you can reason with me, talk to me, and I expect that in return. You see what I mean? And if I'm dealing with somebody, whether they're friend, girlfriend, or even a family member, whoever, if you can't give me the same humility that I'm giving you, then I'm going to leave you alone. You see what I mean? I'm going to leave you alone, because I can't stand a know-it-all. I can't stand a know-it-all. And somebody who don't want to admit being wrong about stuff. Like, say, for example, another example, right? Let's say, I'm going to give the lamest example. Let's say you're in a car with a friend, right? And it's, that's a really cool white car that person's driving. And, no, say the car's, yeah, that's a really cool white car they have, right? And a person got, and you say, oh no, the car is yellow. The car is not white, it's yellow. And let's say the other person say, no, it's white. Okay, let's ask the person whose car, let's ask them, excuse me, what color is your car? My car, it's yellow. See, I told you. And the person instead is, oh, you're right, it was yellow. I thought the car was white. My apologies, you're right, my bad. The car's yellow. That's what a humble person would do. But you get some people say, no, he's colorblind. He's colorblind. His car is white. It's not yellow. It's white. Like, they don't want to admit being wrong at all. You see what I mean? They're not humble. They have no humility about them. Stay away from such people, because I'm going to tell you why. People like that, they're going to bring the worst out of you. They're going to bring the worst person out of you. And misery loves company. They're going to make you miserable, and you're going to be miserable. And they're going to be miserable, and you're both going to be miserable together. So, try to be humble. Try to be the best person you can be, the best people you can be to the best of your ability. Stay away from them kind of negative people who are always negative all the time, a negative Nancy, a Debbie Downer, if you will. Stay away from the Debbie Downers, if you can. You see what I mean? because they love to bring people down with them. They love to drag people to the gutter with them. That's what they love to do. So yeah, stay away from them people. I'm sure there are other examples I can use, but you guys have the idea what I'm talking about. Other subject matter I was going to talk about was a pretty funny situation, right? Some odd years ago, this could have been like about maybe 4 or 5 years ago, I went bowling, right? And I thought I'd talk about this because my boy probably going to hear my podcast, so I thought I would share this with you guys. Some odd years ago, okay, we went to a bowling alley, right? In Los Angeles. And okay, so real talk with VladBrad. Gotta throw that in there real quick. Went to the bowling alley. It was pretty funny because okay, at the time they had a deal to where you pay for a certain amount of hours, right? It was 6 of us. We went bowling together, right? It was 6 of us bowl. It was 6 of us that actually were doing the bowling. And there was a couple, some females, like 3 females with us. The females wasn't bowling. So all together it was like 9 of us all together. We were in a van, really cool. We just kind of, it was a bunch, we was doing it for my boy's birthday. And the females, they didn't do any bowling. It was just the guys. The guys are bowling. And my boy Jeff, he was really good at bowling. Like he was a beast, right? And we were just celebrating my boy's, birthday. We went to the bowling alley. We did that, and it was fun. So let's say we paid to go bowling, and we paid for like about, I think it was 3 hours we paid for. And I'm not the best bowler in the world. I mean, I'm pretty good. I'm not the best bowler in the world or whatever. So anyway, okay, this what happened, right? Jeff was killing everybody. And Jeff, I mean, he's cool. It's my boy. He liked to talk trash when he bowled because and Jeff, he a cool black dude and everything else. And then Robbie was with us. It was Jeff, Robbie, Kev, and some other people, right? And basically this is how Jeff talked. He like, he say, man, you dudes is trash, man. He didn't say dudes, but just for the sake of trying to keep my podcast clean, Jeff, he a black dude. He uses the N-word. Black dudes you casually use the N-word with each other. Man, you ends is trash, man. You soft. You guys is soft. You guys can't bowl to save your lives, man. You guys is trash. I'm sick of beating up on you ends. That's how you would talk. So I was like, we played whatever, and it was some time left. Like we bowled for like 2 hours, and we were kind of bowled out. Honestly, we bowled, and we were like, we were basically, we got sick of looking at bowling. We were bowled out. We were like bowled out. Like we were done with the bowling, right? But Jeff loves to bowl, so he upped the ante a little bit. He was like, okay, if anybody beat me, he said, I'll give you. He said, if y'all beat me, I'll treat everybody here to any place y'all want to go eat at, any burger joint y'all want. I'll treat you guys to any place you want to eat if y'all beat me. He said, but he said, okay. I said, okay, cool. I said, if any bowling place I said, you'll treat us to any burger joint we want to eat, any burger joint but he's like, but you know what, Zach, you trash, man. You trash anyway. So I'm like, oh, you whatever. Okay, you right, dude. I'm trash, whatever. I said, but still it's worth giving it a go since you said, you'll treat us to any burger joint. So yeah, I'm with it, and he said, no, but there's more though. If he was like, if I win, you got to give me $40. I like, oh man. I said, all right, whatever, dude, whatever. Right. So, okay, we bowling, right? We're bowling. So pins are, we're bowling, whatever. And, he's beating me. Like he's beating me. And so I'm thinking, I have the $40 to give him. I have the $40. He's like, man, your game is trash. You also give me that money right now. I said, no, let's finish the game first, right? Let's finish the game. First we finish, and I'm losing the whole time. Like he's bowling strikes, here and there and everything else. And I'm stepping my bowling game up. I'm bowling, I go strike. I do a couple strikes, but he's bowling more strikes, right? So at the end of, we're on the last. I think it's 12, it's 12, how it goes, it's 12 pins. I mean, it's 12, rounds of bowling. We're like on the last round or whatever. And the score is like, I think I have like 90. I have like 96 or 97 points to his like 100 no, he was like about at about 100 and, about 180. 180 something ish. And then, he's not bowling his best game. He's kind of not really taking me serious. So I bowl a couple more. We're going towards the last pins. And, so now I'm at like 120. He's like 180 ish or something. And I'm like 120 ish, 130 ish. So here's what happens, right? Here's what happens on the last, I'm on my last pin, right? I'm going up last. So I bowl, right? He's done. His game is over with. He got like 180 something points. So that's my turn, right? So I bowl, right, on the last one. And I bowl on my last on my last round, and I hit a strike. And so they're like, oh, and then everybody going, oh man, he hit a strike. All right, cool, right? So the strike, so the bowl, they come back down, right? They come back down, though, after I hit the strike. So I bowl again, I hit another strike. So everybody, oh my God, everybody going crazy. Oh my God, this is crazy. Yeah. Everybody going off. Oh my God, it's crazy. Hit a strike, another strike, right? I hit 2 strikes in a row. Bowl again, right? Hit another strike. I'm like, oh, this is crazy, right? So I hit another strike, right? Hit another one. So like still, right? And look, people, there are other people bowling too, right? There are other people, not just me, not just us, other people in the bowling alley who are bowling. Now they're watching me bowl. You see what I mean? Cause they heard this dude talking trash. And everybody in the entire bowl, most of the people in the bowling alley, the people who work there watching me bowl now, right? So I bowl again. I hit another strike. So then hit another strike. Like, oh, all right. So let's go crazy, right? So then I bowl again, right? So I hit 4 strikes in a row, right? So then I bowl again. I didn't strike this time. This time I didn't strike. But you know what I did do? I won the game. So I beat him by like maybe 6-7 pins because, okay, I'm not a bowling genius. I'm not a bowling genius, right? But I know, like, if you bowl, I know there's 10 pins, right? There's 10 pins. So like, say when you bowl, let's say you knock down 7 pins. Bam, you knock down 7 pins. If you pick up all 3 of the rest of the pins, that's 10 points. However, if you roll a strike, that's 20 points. You see what I mean? So I hit like 3 strikes, I think 3 or 4 strikes, something like that. So when I hit the strikes, I end up winning the game, right? So they picking me up. I feel like I won a Super Bowl. Like people now like, oh my gosh, going crazy, right? Oh, Jeff was talking all this trash. And so like, he's talking all this trash and everything, how he bowled and everything. So now I won the game. So everybody, oh my gosh, this is crazy. Like I'm going crazy. The bowling alley going crazy. People filming it and everything else. And I'm like, oh, this is crazy, right? So I beat him, right? So people picking me up, like I'm getting picked up, I'm getting hoisted in the air now, right? It was crazy. It was pandemonium. It was crazy as hell. It was pandemonium. Anyway, so okay, when that happened, right? So this will happen. I'm like, oh, we getting free burger with the eat wherever we want to go. Oh, this is crazy, right? So all of us in the car, you got to treat us all, right? So I'm like, oh my gosh, we're gonna go to this burger joint called Big Mike's Burgers. They got like the hugest, fattest burgers, right? So we are rolling together, right? So we rolling together. And it's like, man, we were on the way to Big Mike's Burgers, whatever. So he's like, so here's what Jeff said. He said, oh man, you know what? He said, can I get you guys another day? Cause I don't really have all the money. He's like, oh no. So here's what I would have said, right? If it was just me by myself, honestly, I said, okay, dude, whatever. Screw it. Okay, you want to just treat me some other day. We want to get your money, whatever. I mean, and I was getting ready to say that, right? I was getting ready to say, okay, dude, whatever. But here, everybody else, right? Especially Kev. Now, Kevin, baby Kev, I shout out to my boy, baby Kev. I love him. Baby Kev is like the blackest dude you can meet. And baby Kev wasn't having it. He wasn't having it. He said, oh, no. He said, no, you about to pay up. No, you've been talking all this trash all this time. You gonna pay up. We about to eat some burgers. I know that. It's gonna be about to be problems. That's how I'm trying to emulate him to the best of my ability. But baby Kev and a few other guys, oh no, he gonna treat it. He said, no, we gonna get our food. We gonna get our food and everything else. So I'm like, oh yeah, dude, I guess I gotta roll with the majority. I beat you fair and square, bro. And then Kev said, okay, what if Zach would have lost? You would have wanted your money. If Zach would have lost, you would have wanted your $40. So now you about to buy us some food and everything else. It's okay. We got to drive a few places. So we driving some places, right? We drive a few places. We all in a van, right? So he said, it's funny. So Kev threatened him a little bit. He said, if you try to run, we gonna find you. Cause we in the town. We know exactly where you be at. And Jeff's like, man, you ain't gotta threaten me. I know her. He's like, man, you don't gotta threaten me. Don't worry, man. I'm gonna get the food. I'm gonna do it. I'll see what I can do, man. You don't have to do all that. So I'm just saying though, cause you don't got the money. So this and that, whatever. So he goes inside. I'm assuming he went to like his brother's house, right? He go to his brother's, try to borrow the money. He didn't have the money, right? He didn't have the money. So he get back in the car, right? So then I'm assuming he goes to like somebody else. He goes to like his friend's house. He's in there for like about 10 minutes, come back out, and he said, what happened? We like, what's going on? He said, I try to nothing. I couldn't get the money, man. He was like, oh, okay, well, we gonna get something tonight. There's gonna be problems. Oh no, that's what Kevin telling him. Kevin telling him, oh, you gonna get us some food. You gonna make something happen. I don't care if you gotta rob something. You gonna get us our food. That's what's gonna happen. He was like, okay, look, just calm down. I know what I gotta do. I know exactly what I gotta do, man. Look, it's cool. So his final resort, right? We go to some chick's house, right? We go to some chick's house, and she lives in an apartment complex. And I know he's on the phone with her. So I vaguely hear the conversation, and here's what I heard, right? She say, so okay, where the hell you been at? She's like, where the hell you been? You all this time, you just calling me back and this and that, whatever. And it's already been like almost a month. You haven't called me back. Wait, boy, where your ass been? And she's just going off on him. He's like, look, I've been busy, and this been going on, whatever. Look, I'm coming over for a second. I need a favor. She's like, you only call me, you need favors? You only call me when you need a favor? And she's going, you can tell she's like I'm assuming, right? I said, she seemed like she's some heavy set black chick. I'm assuming that, right? Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm listening to the phone conversation. Mind you, the phone is not on loudspeaker, but I can just hear her yelling through the phone. Anyway, we get there, right? We get there, go to the apartment complex. And it's one of them apartment complexes where you have to get buzzed in, right? Like, so, he goes up to the door, and I guess the buzzer wasn't working. So she came down. So we actually got to see her. We've seen what she looked like. And I was right. She was some big heavy set black chick. And she was thick in all the wrong places. And see, here's the thing, like, God bless her. She had to be big as she was, she had like no butt. Like, her butt was flat. To be as big as she was, she had a flat butt. She had a huge belly. Her belly was massively huge, right? And like, her stomach stuck out more than her butt did. Like, her stomach was sticking out more. She was big in all the wrong places, and it was just all bad, right? And she has small legs. Like, her legs were like kind of small. She has skinny legs, which usually when the female's big like that, they be having big legs and everything else. But she had small legs, a huge gut. She had no butt about her. Like, her ass was flat. To be that big. She said, and boy, where the hell you been? Like, and where the hell you been? Like, she's yelling at him, right? So we all in the car, we all in the van, just laugh like, oh my God. So he goes up there for like about an hour and a half, right? We waiting this whole time. We sitting there waiting. We're like, man, what's taking him so long, right? We think when was taking this dude so long, right? He's up there for like about an hour and a half. So anyway, right? He's up there for an hour and a half. And he finally comes down. He said, okay, look, I got the money. Where you guys want to go? Like, all right, cool. So we go to Big Mike's Burger. He treat all of us. You see what I mean? And I'm there. I'm like, okay, so I'm like, yeah, let me get the here's my order. I said, let me get the double Big Mike burger with extra cheese and extra let me get extra bacon on that. And matter of fact, throw me a couple onion rings on that with bacon and onion rings and the extra. He's like, okay, cool. Everybody in baby Kev, yeah, let me get some chili cheese fries with extra chili and cheese and pastrami. Like, we all ordered what we gonna order. So we all ate real good that day. We ate real good, and I ate so much that I was stuffed out of my mind full. I couldn't eat another bite. So yeah, Big Mike's Burgers was really good burger joint. So Jeff paid for all his fee. He kept up his end of the bargain. Moral of the story is this. I said that. Here's the moral of the story. The moral of the story is this. Don't go talking trash to people. And this goes back to being humble. Being humble. You see what I mean? It goes back to being humble as well. Be humble. If you win, be a humble and be like an awesome winner. Be a humble winner and be a humble loser. that's the more of the story. So definitely, with that being said, new stuff for my YouTube channel is going to be epic. We out of time. That's the end of my podcast. Thank you guys for listening. Yeah, new stuff on my YouTube channel. My Instagram, VladBrad _world_1. Follow me on Facebook at Zach Morrison. Check that out. And with that being said, I am gone.
$1,000,000, but my money don't really feel like I do. And from the ground I built my own damn buzz. People was amazed I was still in high school, but now I'm out. And money what I'm about, trying to get so much that I can't keep